So, you know the tightness in your chest that you feel when you're anxious, or the knot in your stomach that shows up before difficult conversations, or the tension in your shoulders that won't release no matter how many times you stretch? This isn't random. Hello, everyone. I'm Kelsey Matheson. I am a success coach for women. I'm a yoga teacher, and I am one of the co-owners and co-founders of Anamaya Resort in Costa Rica. We are a boutique resort and retreat center in Montezuma. And there is a kind of tiredness that we see in a lot of our guests who arrive. And I also see in a lot of my clients they're experiencing. And it isn't the kind of tiredness that's related to sleep. It's the weight of everything that you haven't had time to process, that you haven't had time to feel. So we're going to talk a little bit about why emotions get stuck in our body. So, you know the tightness in your chest that you feel when you're anxious, or the knot in your stomach that shows up before difficult conversations, or the tension in your shoulders that won't release no matter how many times you stretch? This isn't random. Your body is keeping score of every emotion that you didn't have time to process, every moment that you just smiled through stress, every time you swallowed anger just to, keep the peace, every boundary that you didn't set because it just felt easier to handle it all yourself. Those emotions don't just disappear. They move into your body. They live in our tissues, and they're sitting there and they're waiting. And so here's what happens in your nervous system when you suppress your emotions. Your body prepares for action. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your stress hormones flood your system. And if you don't kind of complete the action, if you don't cry, if you don't shake, if you don't yell or move, all that energy gets trapped. Okay, so Dr. Peter Levine is a trauma researcher and the creator of somatic experiencing. And he explains it this way. He talks about animals in the wild after a threat passes. And you will literally see, let's say, a deer in the wild senses a threat, like there's a wolf. And they stand up straight. They're on high alert. They're breathing very shallowly. Their muscles are ready to bolt, and they're on fight or flight. Okay. And then when that threat passes, there's an involuntary discharge of stress energy. Like they literally shake it off. Like literally you can see them. They shake it off, and then they go about back to eating or, back to their business. So humans, we've learned to kind of override that instinct. We compose ourselves, we push through, we stay professional, and our bodies continue to kind of hold on to that energy. And research that was published in Frontiers in Psychology show that chronic emotional suppression is linked to increased muscle tension, higher rates of chronic pain, a weakened immune system, and elevated anxiety and depression. So I have a tendency to clench my jaw. I don't grind my teeth. I clench my jaw. And some people think, well, that could be, related to just biting back my words, biting my tongue, like not expressing, what I want to express. Or you might feel that your shoulders rise because you've just been carrying the burdens of the world, or carrying everyone else's burdens, carrying burdens that aren't yours. Or your chest might feel tight because you just haven't exhaled or released the grief that you've been holding. And again, this isn't all woo-woo. This isn't metaphorical. It's actually physiological. Okay. There is a modality called SRI, somatic respiratory integration, that I work with my clients. And it's about, the body and breath, and releasing and healing what you're holding on to. Here's where it gets interesting. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. It connects your brain to your heart and your lungs and your digestive system. It's like the main highway of your parasympathetic nervous system. It's the part responsible for rest and digest and emotional regulation, right? So when your vagus nerve is activated, it sends a signal to your brain, you are safe and you can let go. We breathe more deeply. Our muscles release. And one of the most powerful ways to activate it is vocalization. And a lot of the work that I do with SRI is vocalization. You're humming, you're sighing, you're groaning, you're inhaling, and then you're releasing with sound, right? Even gentle singing. When you make sound with your exhale, the vibration stimulates the vagus nerve directly. Your body begins to shift from sympathetic activation, like fight or flight, into parasympathetic rest, healing, digest, release, relax. In 2018, a study in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that somatic practices, techniques that combine breath and sound and gentle physical touch significantly reduced symptoms of anxiety and trauma. This is how we release the emotion and the tension and the pain that our bodies are holding on to. Just have to give it permission. We have to bring awareness to our bodies and to allow ourselves to let it go. And it's simpler than you think. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's simpler than you think. So right now, find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Just sit or lie down in a way that feels comfortable. And I want you to place 2 fingers at the center of your chest, just kind of right over your sternum, and just gently tap there. And if you can, keep time with your heartbeat or at a pace that feels soothing, right? It might be about like once per second. And just take in a slow breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, make a sound. Like it doesn't have to be loud. You don't have to force it. You might even just want to see what comes out naturally, right? It could just be a sigh. You could hum. It could be like a low groan, whatever feels natural. When I work with my clients, sometimes I'll just have them inhale and just release whatever comes out. And sometimes it's really surprising. Sometimes it's super funny. Sometimes you're like, I didn't even know I could physically make that sound. And then just let the sound kind of vibrate beneath your fingertips. You can do this for just a couple breaths. You could do this, like put a timer on your phone for a minute, and you might even feel some emotion rise up. That's great. Don't stifle that. Like, don't push that back down. Just allow it to come out. Okay. And I think we get scared to feel into those emotions, but it's actually what needs to surface. It's what needs to be released. Okay. And you also might not feel anything at all, and that's totally fine. And when you finish, you can place your whole hand or both your hands over your heart. Just take a nice deep breath. Just tell yourself you're safe. Tell yourself it's safe to let go. And do this once a day. Do this once a week. You can also do it in the shower. This practice works because you're speaking the language that your nervous system understands. We're not trying to think our way through tension. We're not trying to force ourselves to just relax. We're giving our body what it's been asking for. It's giving it physical permission to release. And the tapping provides just a gentle rhythmic input to calm the nervous system. And then the sound stimulates the vagus nerve, and then the breath creates the space to let go. And all of that together basically signals your brain and your body that you don't have to hold this anymore. We can let this go. This is not serving us. Your body isn't holding on to tension to punish you. It's holding it because at some point you just didn't get the opportunity to let it go. It didn't feel safe to let it go. So today you're going to create that safety. When you do this practice, you're going to create that safety. Just give yourself 1 minute to breathe, to make some sound, to release, to get curious, see what comes up. Because you don't need to fix everything. You just need to acknowledge that, I'm feeling some stuff that I want to let go. I'm ready to put it down. So this kind of nervous system work is at the heart of what we do at Anamaya. Our weekly retreats at Anamaya are designed to give you the time and space that your body has been asking for. Our retreats allow you to rest deeply, to release what's no longer serving you, and really to come back into balance. So when you step away from the noise and the busyness of the everyday world, and you surround yourself in nature, right? We're located in Costa Rica. It's stunning. We have an amazing, epic view of the ocean. You're surrounded by a like-minded community and you feel supported and seen. Your nervous system finally gets permission to heal. If you've been feeling the weight of everything that you're holding, maybe putting everyone else's needs before your own, maybe you're burning the candle at both ends, and maybe a retreat might be exactly what your body needs. So you can learn more at anamaya.com. There'll be more information in the description. And if this practice resonates with you, I would love for you to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more nervous system tools, for yoga practices, for meditation, for wellness practices. And I'm also curious, where do you hold tension in your body? For me, it's my jaw, definitely my shoulders as well. But I want you to drop a comment below. Let me know. Can you resonate with that? Do you hold it in your jaw and your shoulders as well? Maybe you hold it in your chest. Maybe it's in your stomach. I read every comment. I would love to respond, have a conversation. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being with me today. I look forward to the next time. Ciao for now.